I would say out of all the bathroom faucets to install, I would say the 8-inch spread. This is an 8-inch spread faucet. I would say they're probably the hardest ones to install. And let me put it this way, they used to be one of the hardest ones to install. Now times have changed and engineers have gotten better and learned what the plumbers needed to make it easiest for us. And they developed new faucets and new connections, and makes it a lot easier than it used to be. Now this one is an older one, so whoever hooked this one up, I'm sure they had a little time with it. It takes a lot of practice, especially with the 8-inch spread faucets. But again, that's no longer. And now we have there, we're going to start by pulling the handles off. That's the hot side and the cold. You can see they're labeled blue and red. Hot's always on the left and blue's always on the right. Cold. And you can see right here, I'm removing the escutcheon, also known as the mounting nut. And yes, I did use a channel lock plier. I know a lot of plumbers look like, oh my gosh, you scratch it up. That's okay, because we're not going to use this anyway. We're going to pull this faucet out. It's older, and we're going to throw it away. And the channel lock pliers just made it a little easier to turn it off of there since it's been on there a while. But now that we have the mounting bolts off, we can pull the stem straight out from the bottom. And that's the hot one you see just pulled out. In the past, probably the hardest part of installing a 8-inch spread faucet. Actually, this one's not as bad as some, and it is an older one, but again, they've improved the makeup of them. And usually, this is the tricky part. People are confused when they get to this part, and of course, that just screws off of there. The older ones, older than this one, you would basically had to put it all together before you even put it up in place, so it all go up in one piece. But now you can break it down, and it makes it a lot easier to work with. And here is this is going to help a lot whenever you're working up under a kitchen sink or a lavatory sink. These are called this is a basin wrench, and it makes it easier to reach. Hard to get nuts from way up, and it has an extension where you can extend it and reach even further. And right now, yes, I'm having a little hard time with it, and that's only because I'm trying to hold the camera and disconnect the spout at the same time. But never fear, we will get this loose. And the good thing about this, in most cases, once you turn that top nut once or twice, you're going to be able to get it the rest of the way with your fingers, just like I'm about to do right here, right now. Now I'm loosening it up. I can just take my fingers and just unscrew it loose. And now we have it almost, the nut almost over there. We're off of there. We're just going to pull it up from the top. I'm reaching up underneath and unscrewing the rest of the nut as I pull this out. There we go. Now we're just going to clean the surface again. And you can see the comparison. This is the older one, and this is the new one. And this is going to be the hot stem, and you know that because it's wrapped with a little red taping. and that's the indication that that's going to go on the left hand side. Hot, always on the left. And this, again, this is another tricky part that throws people off, is when you put the stem up there, you want, once it protrudes to the top, you want to be able to see the threads. If you don't see the threads, you're just going to take it back out and take the brass nut and just screw it down a little more, because you're going to need those threads to screw the mounting nut up to the top. Mounting nut, also known as the decorative piece called the escutcheon. Now you can see the threads. So now we have threads, and we have somewhere that we can screw our escutcheon to the top of it on. We're not quite done with it yet. We're just gonna, once we put the top nut on, we're going to reach up underneath. We're going to pull this off one more time and catch a few more threads. Actually, just to show you, here's the seal. We're not using putty like we used to, because the newer ones do come with their own seals now. So now we've got that back in place, so all we have to do is up underneath is tighten that brass nut. It's very tight. Tighten it where to get it snug to the counter of the sink, and we're ready to okay, now we're gonna get the spout ready. Now this part I'm only gonna show you up on the top of the counter rather than showing you, below connecting it, because it's easier to see from up here. This, of course, is the spout, and this is the little manifold where the hot and cold is gonna go into. The biggest thing, people see these threads and they think that you're supposed to screw this whole piece on as one piece like it is, which you do in a sense, but you're going to use that nut right there to actually screw it. Now if you see in there, you'll see threads. So once you push that up to the stem right here, and you can see the O-ring right there, you push it up to the stem right there, you're going to take that nut and you're going to start tightening that nut down, and that nut actually is going to draw that manifold up into the tub spout, the sink spout, and it's going to seal. And as you can see right now, we do have a little drip right now, and that's only because we do need to tighten that nut a little more until the seal is completely covered up and sealing it tight. So that's not a problem. With all that said, my name's Claude Taylor. Thanks for watching the How To Plumbing channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Hit that like button, and yes, become a subscriber.